Welcome, everybody, to Conversations That Matter with me, your host, Alex Newman, for the New American Magazine. It's great to be with you. Folks, we've had a good friend of the show on this program quite a few times, Frank de Varona. He fought in the Bay of Pigs and survived. Today, we are very honored and very blessed to have another veteran and survivor of the Battle of the Bay of Pigs, where Cuban patriots, supposedly helped by the U.S. government, although there was a little bit of you might say betrayal there, went to go liberate their homeland from the communist regime, the tyranny of Fidel Castro. Our guest, Pepe Tomeu, actually fought in that battle as a teenager. He was imprisoned there for a couple of years with our friend Frank de Varona. And he then came to the United States after 2 years of being in prison there. He became a firefighter. He served in the U.S. Army. He became an entrepreneur. Just some years ago, 2018, he was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. And there is so much more to this man, Jose Pepe Tomeu. Jose, welcome to the program. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, one question I have is, the Pro Rodeo is a senior Pro Rodeo.
Senior Pro Rodeo.
Okay, it's two Pro Rodeos, so the other one is a little tougher than the one I become a inductee.
Well, also, thank you very much for that. Go ahead, Jose.
Yes, sir. Okay, glad to see you, and I'm glad to do help any sent to this great country. They have, hard to say, take care of me and become part of it.
Very good. Well, we're very grateful for your service, Jose, and we're very grateful to have you on the program today. Let's start with your story of fighting in the Bay of Pigs. I mean, what motivated you to put your life on the line for liberating Cuba?
Well, my father joined the brigade. My father was 55 years old, and I thought that I just got to go too. I was 17. When you're 17, you don't think like that when you're 25. And I just didn't say how much. I just thought it was something I have to do.
And so walk us through that. What was it like? I mean, did you go over on a boat? Talk to us about the battle and how you were captured and imprisoned.
Okay. I also got wounded at the Bay of Pigs. I got wounded the first night at 9 p.m. No 8:59, no 9:01, at 9 p.m. We went to training in Guatemala, in Retaule, Guatemala, in the hills, and we trained there. We trained with the CIA, and the CIA gave us an awesome training. The reason is an awesome training because when I went to the U.S. Army, it was almost the same. In other words, it was no less, just exactly almost the same. And we went there, and from there, of course, we went to Puerto Cabeza in Nicaragua, and from there we left to Cuba, April 16, I believe, and we got there right. We unload my battalion, 4th Battalion. We unload right before the 17th. We about midnight. We was in the ground and there. We have a small problem with the group there. But there was maybe about 20 soldiers, and they surrendered. I don't think it was, as far as I know, I don't think it was anybody got hurt, got killed there. And from there, we went to stay there, and just need some help. And the 2nd Battalion was having a hard time, or a big, in what we call Long Beach, Red Beach, which it was in Spanish was Long Beach. I mean the name of the place, but and our deal was Red Beach. And we were there, and about 9 p.m. we got mortars coming, and we lay down. And it was funny because I was in between two brothers. They were from the same town I am from, Camagüey. And one was on the right and one was on the left. I have a the grenades hit a tree. Do that. It was never in the training. The training said you stay away from the tree because the shrapnel can go down versus a split up. But talk about it and learn about it and do it about it is completely three different things. That was coming. I mean, like hundreds, I don't know how many wars, and there was everywhere. And the fellow in the left side with me lost a leg. I had a wounded in my right calf, and the fellow right on me was don't have a touch, which is they were brothers. One died not too long ago, and the other is still around in Gainesville. In Miami. That was, and of course, that was my end of my my fighting. You know, I was wounded. I can't get out. I don't know exactly what happened. 1.5 is kind of unbelievable. We tried to go in through the woods there, but the good part of the area was a swamp. And it's hard to come in, but it's hard to get out. I was limping because of my deal. And I surrendered. A lot of people were surrendering on it. And I was surrendered. One of the militia guys took my watch off, and I guess he took it for his brother or something. And this big guy come by, and I didn't realize who it was, but that was Fidel Castro. He put his hand behind my neck. I didn't say a word, but it's something I will never forget. And he just right there, he just didn't say a word. And I said, well, from there, I went to Hiron, which is the place where they have all the prisoners. And then we I came in the panel truck. I don't know if you have heard about it. The 11 people died of asphyxiation. I was one of the people who came there. I passed out. Really, I can remember the trip. I remember when I got to the Sport Palace in Cuba. That's where it was putting the prisoners. It looked like when I opened the doors, looked like it was a refrigerator. It was so hot in there. It was full of sweat, and it was dripping from the ceiling. And of course, 11 people died. Some other passed out like I did. I can remember that. And then we stayed there, and then we went to the, they took care of my wound there, and then we went to the Princess Palacio del Princess Palace, which is a prison, and then we was there for about 1.5 years. We went to, then they sent a group of us to Isla Pine, and the sentence will tell you the group that went to Isla Pine. I swear that in Isla Pine we spent 8 or 9 months. The guy said we only spent 4. Mm. In other words, I would say I thought it was more time there because there was pretty tough. We got 210 people in the place, maybe 30 by 50 on 2 sides. In other words, we were right on top of each other. We have no other accommodation than the piece of cardboard. That was pretty good. We have meals 3 times a day. We call them the hot meal, warm meal, and cold meal, which was the same tank they bring in the morning. We have a little problem. The food was not pretty good, but I survived. I still eat macaroni. So it was kind of like a blend of, sort of like a pasta. I don't know. It was no for sure. Don't have any flavor. It tastes like a wet napkin. Yes. Well, one. Tim gave me one.
Wow.
And not to be eaten. Mm-hmm. And that's and then one day in the morning we never went out. We never went out of the barrack. Whenever the barrack was, Isla Pine was the prison, and they have some round places. We were not there. We were in the back in the square place. That's the reason we have the slim part of the barrack, But in the center was like a small patio. One day they let us out on the patio, and they gave every one of us a pair of pants and a shirt. Not because a shirt and pant fit you, but you could move around and might do a little better from the other guy was bigger or smaller. Everybody was pretty slim there. We had a good diet. To lose weight there, pretty good. And we got into They put us in a plane to Havana, to Havana, to Havana, to there's an Air Force base. I cannot remember the name right now. It's Santiago de los Baños, I think. And I'm sorry, I just maybe it's not the name, but it's like I said that. And there, we came to United States. Let's go a little back. When we were there, we still don't know what is going to happen. And or we got pretty good idea something's happening, but we don't know what it was. And all of a sudden, I saw a Pan American airplane landed. And about 10 minutes later, another Pan American airplane landed. And about 10 minutes later, another Pan American landed. That was pretty simple to know that something was going on. The only problem on that is our last name is Tomeu, and they went by from A to T, and my plane haven't landed yet. And that was a heck of a deal. Then when we went, which was the last plane, they had a little, problems like they do over there now with Russia. I don't know what they're going to do or nothing, and they stopped us for a little while. No, I didn't. What I'm telling you was told. I didn't see it, and then we came to United States, and I have been here. I came and worked a little bit with a ranch, and I joined the U.S. Army, and I came back out of the Army and married my sweetheart. 57 years today, or 50 years, over 57 years now.
Wow.
And she's a hero.
Jose, I want to ask you, there's a lot of younger people in America who don't know about communism, who don't know what it's like to live under communism, who don't understand what happens under these regimes, and they're warming up to communism. If you look at the polls, there was one in 2017 that showed 70% of millennials now embrace socialism, 36% have a positive view of communism. That's my generation. The younger ones are even worse. You put your life on the line to fight against communism. What do young people in America need to know about this system that sounds so appealing, I guess, equality and fraternity and all these things?
Well, it's just like a menu in a bad restaurant. The menu looks real good. The food is no good. At Memorial Day, I happened to met a lady. Her husband was also a soldier, and we were in a stuff for Memorial Day and she said she had gone to Cuba about 2 years ago. She says nothing there. You can't find a pound of meat. You get 1 hour of electricity a day. Now, how can you keep a refrigerator going? I don't know. You don't get no ice from the mountains there. And she say, I just know even, I believe her mother or somebody died already. And she say, I just don't want to go back. She says, it's the people face, they work all day long, and then they spend the rest of the time looking for food. You can't find food. If you have a shirt, they might give you a chicken, but if you have 100 pesos, the other guy can do nothing with it. And that's a bad situation. It's a wonderful sin. The people have leave, and they have to. If tourists go to Cuba, they go to Baradero. If you are a Cuban citizen, you cannot eat in a restaurant in Baradero or any restaurant in Cuba. The tourists can eat. The only way you can do it if it's one tourist invites you to eat. Now that's pretty good. That's their country. Imagine you want to go to any restaurant here, say you can't come. You're an American. Those people don't realize that. And the communists use a lot of good deal. For example, one we have here that really makes me disappointed when we say progressive. Progressive is better, no bad. And the communists have get that. The name progressive And we don't realize we need to change that, because progress is for good, not for bad. You know.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see it today. And another thing is the greatest people in the world at the U.S. Army. Think about it. The 90% of the U.S. Army's dead people are in another country saving somebody. Not in this country. I would say maybe hardly any. That is really a good sense we have, that we should we know. They save anybody, and then the same people get mad at them. It's unbelievable.
Jose, I've talked to a lot of Cubans in Miami who've expressed concerns about parallels they see with what has been happening in America, especially under some recent administrations, and what was leading up to the revolution in Cuba. Do you see any parallels there? Do you share any concerns about these trends that we've seen in the United States?
Well, no now, but before the first of the year, we was going down the hill. Mm-hmm. Look how many people, how many criminals they have that went through the frontier, and they was going to be a citizen. And you still go to places that you cannot take him back. What in the world? You're not a citizen of the United States. Come here to make crime, and you cannot be kicked out. I just cannot understand that. When we came legal in 1960. Okay. When I got here, one of the people from the custom said, "Come here, young man." He said, "You have been granted a time here because you have a problem with your country. Here you can do anything you want, long as you don't do anything wrong. If you do something wrong, you will be treated like a criminal. If you do something right, you might make it. You might make it as any other American." I will never forget that. I was 16 years old, and I remember exactly that. I don't know if I can get it out.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. Jose, we're almost out of time today, but I want to ask you just what's your advice to Americans who maybe haven't experienced some of these horrors that you and your family have lived through? What do you say to everyday Americans?
Well, it's the one sense we have, the greatest sense is we are a great open country. In other words, if you want to say something, and I want to say something the other side, it's okay. The reason is, look and see what would you do in the future. How are you going to get it done with people that want to take everything away from you? That's the communists to me. The Cuba, nobody. And they found out that Castro had a pretty good sized piece of land, I think was in Costa Rica or some other country in this. I can remember that. And he has some money somewhere in case he would have to leave Cuba, but I guess he died before that.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Jose, is there any way people can learn more about your story and your work over the years? Do you have a website, social media account, any way people can follow you?
No, when I went to school, I used to use the smoke signals. I am not very, very, no, not really that. It's just I don't have one.
Very good.
I am no different than many Cubans. They not only the Bay of Pigs, they have done other things. Mm-hmm. And to save Cuba, and it's a lot of, I understand there's still some Cubans in the mountains. They're fighting communism, but I think one day we'll get it back. Maybe I won't, but my children will.
Amen. I sure hope so. Terrible what has happened to your homeland. Well, Jose Tomeu, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your story. It's really been an honor to speak with you, and I think your thoughts and your story will bless a lot of our listeners. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and hopefully God bless America.
Hey, God bless America, and God bless you also. Thank you again. All right, folks, that's all we have time for today on Conversations That Matter, but thank you so much for tuning in. Share this out, especially with young people who have these naive ideas about communism. Let them know the reality, what it actually is. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Again, you can share it out, send it to your friends, your family. And thank you, as always, for tuning in. Get over to thenewamerican.com, sign up for the print magazine. Great information that we can use to prevent what happened in Cuba from happening in our beloved country. Thanks again. Until next time, I'm Alex Newman, Senior Editor at The New American. God bless you all.